Hi guys, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a book haul of all the books that I purchased on my recent trip to Edinburgh with my husband on the 25th of November. We were in Edinburgh seeing Erin Morgenstern at an event hosted by Topping & Company Booksellers for her new book, The Starless Sea. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant event. Erin Morgenstern is the nicest lady. She's exceptionally intelligent, very funny, so warm, so friendly, just lovely. And I feel so privileged having met her. But yeah, anyway, on with the books. So the first book that I bought on Monday was this a nursery edition of Peter Pan. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have it in hardcover already, but when I saw this really cute paperback for like 50p, I was like, I'll have that. So I got this in a charity shop. Hubby was in the pipe shop and I was in a charity shop across the road because he was talking about pipes and tobacco and goodness knows what else. And just the illustrations in this are gorgeous as well. They're by Lucy Mabel Atwell, or Mabel Lucy Atwell. Mabel Lucy Atwell. She also did an edition of Alice in Wonderland, and her artwork is kind of I'm going to say Art Nouveau meets Art Deco. It's really of its time. It's very sort of 1920s, but absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I'll get a really beautiful one. Let's have a look. I mean, they're all beautiful, but I'll get my favourite. That one. So that's when they're flying away. It's just absolutely stunning. So yeah, the Nursery Peter Pan. The next one that I got was by Michel Faber, and it's The Book of Strange New Things. This was an entirely cover-based buy because the cover is just absolutely stunning. But then when I read the book later on, I didn't read it when I picked it up. I was just like, that's pretty, I'll have that. It sounds really intriguing though. What could hold two people together even when they are worlds apart? Peter Lee is called on a journey of a lifetime, a highly unusual humanitarian mission into deep space, one that will take him light years from his beloved wife, Bee. As Peter pushes up against his own limits, word reaches him that Bee's world back home is falling apart. Faber's novel asks how love might survive such distance. That sounds brilliant, and also, again, it's a beautiful, gorgeous cover. I mean, it's just lovely. Absolutely lovely. The next one that I got was also from a charity shop, and I'd never heard of this book before, but it sounds really intriguing again. And also, it has the stamp from Typewronger Books, which is just up the road from the charity shop I was in. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Seek. I mean, look at that cover, and look at the French flaps. It's just lovely. Absolutely gorgeous looking book. That's the back. Just, that foiling. It's wow. The strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde continues. 7 years after the death of Edward Hyde, a stylish gentleman shows up in foggy London, claiming to be Dr. Henry Jekyll. Only Mr. Utterson, Jekyll's faithful lawyer and confidant. I may as well just give up. 7 years after the death of Edward Hyde, a stylish gentleman shows up in foggy London, claiming to be Dr. Henry Jekyll. Only Mr. Utterson, Jekyll's faithful lawyer and confidant, knows that he must be an impostor, because Jekyll was Hyde. But as the man goes about charming Jekyll's friends and reclaiming his estate, and as the bodies of potential challengers start piling up, Utterson is left fearing for his life and questioning his own sanity. This brilliantly imagined and beautifully written sequel to one of literature's great masterpieces perfectly complements the original work, and where the original was concerned with the duality of man, this sequel deals with the possibility of identity theft as the most of the most audacious kind. Can it really be that this man who looks and acts so precisely like Dr. Henry Jekyll is an imposter? I mean, I've not read Jekyll and Hyde, but I think I might, just because this sounds incredible. And it's a gorgeous book too. I mean, look, oh, just look at it. It's beautiful. That foiling though, wow. So the next one I got, I've seen this on Instagram all over the place, and when I was in Typewronger books, I saw it and I was like, that's mine. I have to have that. It's Haunted Voices, an anthology of Gothic storytelling from Scotland. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just pretty? Absolutely stunning. I love it. And again, it has the Typewronger books stamp, and I got a bookmark as well, which is very cute. Yes, bookmark. A unique and important project, essential for anyone keen to understand Scotland's spellbinding storytelling traditions and how they manifest today. And that's a quote from Heather Parry. Scotland has a stunning tradition of oral storytelling, from the firesides of the nation's legendary storytelling families to the physical and virtual platforms of today's narrative performers. Scotland is also a place with a strange, long-standing affinity with that most chilling of genres, the Gothic. Haunted Voices, a bold and ambitious anthology in both text and audio, showcases some of Scotland's best oral storytellers, from archived stories of past masters to the work of contemporary performers and their most disturbing tales of terror. Expect monstrous tongue-eaters, shadowy demons, haunted videotapes, wicked priests, strange shapes in the darkness, a retelling of Poe's The Raven, and more. Scotland may be small, but it has many, many voices. So gather round and listen close. This is Haunted Voices, Scotland's great Gothic chorus. That sounds amazing. It sounds incredible, and I can't wait to get to it. And also, absolutely stunning book. Beautiful. The next one was, I bought this because I saw a tweet, and I'm fairly certain the tweet was by Damien Bar. He retweeted something. Sorry, that's the clock chiming. It's midday. Are you done? Thank you. So this was a retweet that I saw from Damien Bar, who is a presenter on Scotland's Big Book Club, Scotland's Great Big Book Club. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a TV show about book clubs, and it's set in Scotland. That made no sense. I'm gibbering. So anyway, he retweeted what Nicola Sturgeon was reading at the moment, or was reading then, which was about a week ago, and it was Exquisite Cadavers. I purely bought this because I wanted to see what Nicola Sturgeon's reading tastes were like. I can't stand the women. Just saying that right there. But I was interested to see what kind of books she reads, because I don't agree with her politics. I don't agree with what she stands for, but I'd be interested to see what kind of what she enjoys and what she finds interesting. And this book does sound interesting. Karim, a young filmmaker carries with him the starry-eyed dreams of the Arab Revolution. Maya carries her own pressing concerns, an errant father, an unstable job, a chain-smoking habit, a sudden pregnancy. When Karim's brother disappears in Tunis, and Karim wants to go after him, Maya must choose between her partner and her home city, her future and her history. In a conversation between forms, fiction and truth, Exquisite Cadavers is a novel about a young couple navigating love in London, and a literary hall of mirrors about an author navigating the inspirations behind her work. Now that actually does sound fantastic. It's weirdly set out though. I mean, because you've got the text block there, and then you've got like these little sort of paragraphs at the side. So I'm kind of like, how do you go about reading that? I mean, it's probably simple. You probably just read the whole thing, but do you read the big do you read the big text block first and then the little paragraphs? I'm confused. So we shall see, but this does sound good. The next one that I got, I've seen everywhere. I first saw this on Jen Campbell's YouTube channel, and it sounded incredible. So when I saw a copy of it, I was like, yeah, I'll have that. And what makes this better is it's a signed first edition, and I got this in Topping and Company, and as was this one. This was from Topping and Company as well. And it's Star of Acre by Andrew Michael Hurley, and it is, well, it says on the front that it's signed, but there you go. It's signed by the author. This sounds so intriguing. I shall read you the blurb, if I can get the paper out of the way. The worst thing possible has happened. Is that on the back? No. The worst thing possible has happened. Richard and Juliet Willoughby's son, Ewan, has died suddenly at the age of 5. Star of Acre, their house by the moors, was to be full of life, but is now a haunted place. Juliet, convinced Ewan still lives there in some form, seeks the help of the Beacons, a seemingly benevolent group of occultists. Richard, to try to keep the boy out of his mind, has turned his attention to the field opposite the house, where he patiently digs the barren dirt in search of a legendary oak tree. Star of Acre is a devastating new novel by the author of the prize-winning bestseller The Lonely. It is a novel about the way in which grief splits the world in two, and how, in searching for hope, we can so easily unearth horror. That sounds amazing, and I cannot wait to get to it. And also, it's a lovely book too. A nice one to add to my collection. My ever-growing collection. Now, this one is also from Topping and Company, and I didn't see this until I was paying for the rest of the books. And I had to get it. I just had to. It's P.G. Wodehouse, Jeeves and the Yule-Tide Spirit, and other stories. I don't know if you can see the foiling on this, but it's a gorgeous edition. It's paperback, but it's beautiful. It's like silvery snowflakes. You probably see it better like that. Yeah, but this is just like a collection of Jeeves stories. Does one desire the Start again, Graham. Does one desire the Yule-Tide Spirit, sir? Certainly one does. I'm all for it. Aunts, engagements, misunderstandings and hangover cures. This delightful collection from the greatest chronicler of a certain kind of Englishness. Julian Fellows, in brackets. Okay. Brings together a baker's dozen of PG... Ah, right, okay, so he's the editor. Be prepared, Graham. Clearly not. Brings together a baker's dozen of P.G. Wodehouse's finest short stories. A cavalcade of perfect joy, and that's a quote by Caitlin Moran. A comic master, and that's David Walliams. I mean, Julian Fellows... He wrote Downton, guys. Come on, it's got to be a good collection of stories. Caitlin Moran, respected writer. David Walliams, comedian, writer. panellist on Britain's Got Talent, or Britain Has No Talent, as I often say when I watch it, or when I try not to. So PG Wodehouse, Jeeves and the Yule-Tide Spirit. Looking forward to getting to that at some point in the future. The next one is another from Topping and Company. Actually, the rest of these, bar one, is from Topping and Company. I've seen this everywhere as well. It's also a signed first edition, and it's The Art of Dying by Ambrose Parry. I'm sorry about that flash there. Topping and Company put like a protective sort of cellophane on their books, and it catches the glare when you're trying to make a video. It does protect the books beautifully though. This sounds brilliant. I've got the first one, which I think is called The Way of the Flesh, or The Way of All Flesh, and it just sounds very good. Edinburgh, 1849. Despite Edinburgh being at the forefront of modern medicine, hordes of patients are dying all across the city, with doctors finding their remedies powerless. But it is not just the deaths that dismay the esteemed Dr. James Simpson. A whispering campaign seeks to blame him for the death of a patient in suspicious circumstances. Simpson's protege, Will Raven, and former housemaid Sarah Fisher are determined to clear their patron's name. But with Raven battling against the dark side of his own nature, and Sarah endeavouring to expand her own medical knowledge beyond what society deems acceptable for a woman, the pair struggle to understand the cause of the deaths. I'm just going to move this bit of paper out of the way. Will and Sarah must unite and plunge into Edinburgh's deadliest streets to clear Simpson's name, yet soon they discover that the true cause of these deaths has evaded suspicion purely because it is so unthinkable. That sounds awesome. And I can't wait to get to it. I can't wait to get to all of these books. I can't wait to get to every single book ever. But this sounds amazing. The next one I am so excited about. I saw these books about a year or so ago, and I didn't know how much they were, because every time I've seen them, I've thought, well, they're probably far too expensive, and I haven't checked out the price, because I thought, well, I don't want to like confirm that they are dead expensive and that I'll never be able to like justify spending that on one book. But these are only a tenner. And I had no idea, and I thought, you know what, actually that's not much for what it is. It's The Little People Big Dreams, and it's Agatha Christie. Now this book, it's a children's picture book, but it's absolutely stunning. I love this. The artwork in here is just glorious. I mean, the Orient Express and Agatha Christie writing Murder on the Orient Express. It's just to die for. Absolutely to die for. Little People, Big Dreams. Agatha Christie. Discover the lives of outstanding people, from designers and artists to scientists. All of them achieved incredible things, yet each began life as a child with a dream. When Agatha Christie was young, she read books every night, but always had her own idea of how they should end. As an adult, her crime novels, with their twists and turns and peculiar detectives, challenged the minds of millions of readers, making her the queen of mystery and the best-selling novelist of all time. The inspiring story of this imaginative author features a facts and photos section at the back. And the end papers, guys. They're typewriter letters. I just love it. It's just amazing, and I'm so happy that I finally found out that these aren't majorly expensive. Love this. So the last book that I got from Topping, or rather the last two books that I got from Topping, they're the same book. This one still has the cellophane on, because I'm going to keep this as my pristine, unread, first edition signed by the author copy. This one is also signed by Erin Morgenstern, but this will be my reading copy. So I have taken off the cellophane because I don't like the feeling of the crinkly cellophane when I'm reading a book. This is just absolutely stunning. This is just, there are no words. This is stunning. I mean, the front is gorgeous. The spine is beautiful. The back is just stunning. The the dedication and the sign by the author part are beautiful too. And these end papers are just, I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. But the pièce de résistance is that. I mean, that is just, the design of this book is just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. It's beautiful. And this sounds incredible. Erin Morgenstern at the event we were at described this as being, there was a lot of elements of Alice in Wonderland in this. I love Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is my bae. Alice is my bae. Love Alice in Wonderland. My favourite book ever. And Through the Looking Glass as well. Absolutely love it. And this book just sounds glorious. Are you lost or are you exploring? When Zachary Rollins stumbles across a strange book hidden in his university library, it leads him on a quest unlike any other. Its pages entrance him with their tales of lovelorn prisoners, lost cities, and nameless acolytes. But they also contain something impossible, a recollection from his own childhood. Determined to solve the puzzle of the book, Zachary follows the clues he finds on the cover: a bee, a key, and a sword. They guide him to a masquerade ball, to a dangerous secret club, and finally through a magic doorway created by the fierce and mysterious Mirabelle. This door leads to a subterranean labyrinth filled with stories, hidden far beneath the surface of the earth. When the labyrinth is threatened, Zachary must race with Mirabelle and Dorian, a handsome barefoot man with shifting alliances, through its twisting tunnels and crowded ballrooms, searching for the end of his story. You are invited to join Zachary on the Starless Sea, the home of storytellers, story lovers, and those who will protect our stories at all costs. I have no words. I have no words. It sounds stunning. It looks stunning. It is stunning. And I'm so happy that I have 2 copies of it. One was my reading copy and one will be my keeping forever copy. I mean, I'll keep them both forever, but one will be in better condition than the other. But love it. And she was so lovely. She was so warm. She was so friendly. And I said to her, when I handed her the 2 books, she says, who am I dedicating these to? And I was like, they're both for me. And she sort of looked, and I says, well, I'm going to keep one nice forever, and I'm going to have one as my reading copy. And I said, do you think that's silly? And she said, not at all. Absolutely not at all. So the last one, I didn't buy this on the trip to Edinburgh. This was bought a few days before in I was going to say Wetherspoons. Wetherspoons don't sell books, Graham. They do food and drink. Oh my god. Waterstones. I bought this in Waterstones. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition of the Night Circus. And I got Erin Morgenstern to sign it for me. This is beautiful as well. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm so happy that I met this incredible author. This book I read and finished literally the night before we went through to Edinburgh, and I loved it. It was so magical. It was so dark. It was so beautifully written. Poetic. It just... wow. I have no words. I loved it. It was gorgeous. So yeah, that's my rambling, nonsensical book haul. Thank you for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye bye.